People say we have an underfunded trauma system. A lot of people don't think about trauma care and trauma networks and going to the hospital. It's not a fun discussion. But we have a gap in our system of, God forbid, you have a problem. We have a big gap in Georgia between one emergency room that can handle you and another one. And we spent $53 million this year to sort of fill that gap for a half a year. We funded it last year as well. And here's the other good news about that. A lot of that trauma money, some $30 million of trauma care funding will go to Grady. And what that means, good for you, the taxpayers in North Fulton County, is that we fund Grady. If you haven't looked at your property tax bill lately, we fund it. This will help relieve a little bit of the burden. The state is finally admitting that Grady is more than just a Fulton and the DeKalb County Hospital. Something they should have admitted a long time ago. It serves a region, and really the state and the southeast, if you get right down to it. So, trauma care, transportation, water. Health care. We have this thing called Certificate of Need. It's this most tangled web of a system of laws that restricts what hospitals can do, what they can't do, what doctors can do, what they can't do. We loosen those up. We're a little more free market, a little more competition come into the marketplace, which means good things for you. A little competition, a little downward pressure on cost of health care. Education. These folks talk about education more than I will, but we spent $50 million in our budget to sort of backfill some cuts that we had during lean times back in the early 2000, and so austerity cuts, as you call them, and we're getting more dollars to the classroom than ever, thanks to our local systems, no question about it. But in the end, I talked about this earlier with a couple of our PTA representatives. Our graduation rates in Georgia have gone up from 63 to 73% in the last 6 years. Now, 73% is nothing to go celebrate about, but it's going in the right direction, not the wrong direction, and you can thank the legislature for that, even though we don't get a lot of credit for it. Fulton County, I'm going to end it with this. We'll take questions. Everybody knows how much I have a love affair with Fulton County government and how well they run. I want to end Fulton County as we know it. I mean, they may not be politically correct, and some people say you shouldn't have said that. You know, it is a train wreck looking for a place to happen. Every day they wake up down there, and not Fulton County School Board, Fulton County government. And yes, Lynn Riley's a great commissioner out here, but on her best day, she can't solve that matrix equation. Just can't do it. It's a mess. They continue to try to be punitive to North Fulton County, even after we tricked the system and we did something no one ever thought we could do in creating these new cities. No one ever thought you could do what we are doing right now, 4 years ago. Nobody even thought a city of Johns Creek was even thought, or much less a possibility. They want to punish us, and I'm going to punish them back. Each time they tee it up, I'm going to knock it right out of the park. They systematically try to punish us in ways that hit us in the pocketbook. They underserved us for years, and that's evidenced by the fact we spend the same amount of money, no tax increase, and you get a new police force with response times that are going to be off the charts compared to what Fulton County gave you. You got a local government that's closer to you, more responsive to you, all for the same amount of money. But even after we created a general law to allow these new cities to exist, we have this money they owe us, called the Special Service Tax District portion of your taxes. We have to pass a law, and we did, to force them to give you your money back. And I'm glad to say we've got to pass this session. Billboards. One other way they decided when they got caught up in a lawsuit, which they're very good at doing, getting caught up in lawsuits, and they're notorious for their settlements, actually. They decided instead of paying money to a billboard company, they wanted to put 75 billboards in the new North Fulton cities, half of which were going to be right here in Johns Creek. I think we have one now. You can do the math. It's a pretty good increase overnight. They got caught up in a lawsuit with this billboard company. And instead of paying the money, which they really probably should have paid to this company, they decided, no, we'll back issue some permits in a jurisdiction we have no jurisdiction over. Johns Creek, Milton, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta. That's not right. So we had to pass another bill, another general law to correct that. And I'm proud to say the governor signed that into law yesterday. You got the best city in the state already, and they're a baby. They're the envy, not just of the new cities. When you compare Sandy Springs and Milton and Johns Creek and Chattahoochee Hills and South Fulton, they're the envy of all the new cities. But they're the envy of the state. And thanks to y'all, you voted for that, you wanted it, and good things are ahead. I assure you that I'm not going to leave this job unless my heart, stops ticking until I find you and get you a new county. I spoke too long, but I'm going to close on this. I think it's important for you to hear. Some of the media, specifically not the media present tonight, some over in Alpharetta, talks about how the issue of Milton is waning, the new county of Milton is waning. It is absolutely not. We had qualifying last week to sign up again if you wanted to run for this job in the House and Senate. And for the most part, for better or worse, you have the same set of players next year you had this year, which is good news in the end for North Fulton County, because those are the very players that are going to vote for the new county of Milton. We have the political numbers in the House and the Senate. It's a constitutional provision. The governor doesn't get to sign it or veto it. It goes to the public. And we have it where it's worded such that I think Georgians will vote for it. The General Assembly is now getting accustomed to the uniqueness of Fulton County and our needs. Some days we have days we bring bills down to the floor and say, oh no, here's another Fulton County day at the legislature. And you got a guy from Adel, Georgia, or a guy from Cairo, Georgia, in the legislature saying, all right, Burkhalter, you got to explain to me, am I for this? Yes, you're for it. You're not for it, you're not going to get your money in the budget, but no, they get it. They understand the uniqueness of Fulton County and the needs of North Fulton. And thanks to our North Fulton legislators, we've done a good job, I think, of educating them and telling them our specific needs out here. But it's going to happen. My prediction is it's got to, every 2 years, unfortunately, is how it works. Constitutional amendments, 08, 2000 is our next crack at it. It's 2000. We're going to get it on the ballot. You're going to get a chance to vote for it. And if you and the rest of Georgians will let us have it, just like you did for the new city, we'll change the world like you've never seen it changed out here. Those tax assessments that we talked about earlier, we'll have our own tax assessor who can actually do math equations and figure out valuations. And that'll be a good thing for you. It's unthinkable. I'm going to close with this. Another Fulton County factor. It's unthinkable in this economy that the average assessment of a business property, not to mention residential, but a business property can go up in 1 year 47%. 47%. When values are technically going down, not as much here in other parts of the state and country, but going down. But Fulton County says, wow, we're going to increase it 47%. And do you think for a minute they're going to lower their millage rate on 141 Pryor Street? No. They're not going to do it. They're just going to collect the windfall, and they're going to take more of your money and give you less in return. We can solve that, and the only way to do it is through a new county. I'm convinced of that. I'm going to close. Thank you again for all you do. I'm sorry I spoke so long, but it get me roused up and about what's going on at the Capitol, and I can't help myself. But thank you.